the sessions on the new Indonesian capital. Let me introduce myself. My name is Arif Hafasugroseno. I'm the Indonesian ambassador to Germany, next door. Uh, so we are on a German and Swiss German time, so I think we want to try to be as punctual as possible. I've been invited here to have some bilaterals, but also to be invited also to be moderator of these important discussions. So this afternoon we have 1 hour timeline from 1500 to 1600. So we have 1 hour, and we have three speakers. We have Bapak Dr. Bambang Susantono. He is the head of the National Capital Authority of the new Indonesian capital. We have Ibu Dr. Amalia, a very good friend of mine. She is a Deputy Minister for Economic Affairs of the Ministry of Development Planning. And of course, we have Pak Yuki Hanafi, the Vice Chair of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce. So in this slot of 1 hour time, we would very much like to hear from Pak Bambang, from Ibu Amalia, and from Pak Yuki the developments of the new national capitals. I want to digress a little bit. In Germany, people ask me about the moving of the capital. I would say we are not moving the capital; we are building a capital. So it's different idea. And someone also asked me, are you going to move the whole Jakarta? Come on, it's impossible. It's 13 million people. We are not going to move the whole Jakarta. We are going to move the government center of Indonesia. And then another typical questions, well, is Jakarta sinking? Yes and no, because the place where I live, in Pejaten, southern Jakarta, the height is 25 meters. Manhattan is 10 meters, average. If you don't believe me, Google it yourself. People don't move out of Manhattan today. So there are some part of Jakarta that has threats of sinking, but I think others are not necessarily sinking, as many so-called analysts would say. But anyway, today we hope to get a clearer picture. Today we hope we get a sense of directions where these idea will come into fruition. And I would like to organize the discussion today by first of all having Bapak Dr. Bambang Susantono to give a keynote speech, and then Ibu Dr. Amalia, and then Pak Yuki. So if you can make yourself around 10 minutes, 12 minutes max, and then we will have a solid Q&A. And of course, we have a live streaming, so people in Indonesia and anywhere in the world could also have a look at it. So once again, thank you very much. Big applause to Bapak Susantono. Silakan, Bapak.
Thank you, Excellencies, Ambassador. Pleasure to have a moderator as a caliber of him. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon here in Davos. Also, a very good day to those of you who are watching from the YouTube streaming from the Ministry of Investment. This is sessions on the Indonesian new national capital. I would like to thank first Ministry of Investment as well as Kadin and also the Embassy of Indonesia for organizing these sessions. Some of you may recall that I was also speaking on this stage in summer last year. Yeah. Back then, I introduced the concept of Nusantara to the audience. And since that day, people kept coming to me and mostly asking three questions. Number one, when will you begin the constructions? So this is around June or July, yeah? June, maybe, June. Yeah? So when will you begin the construction? Second one, where are the investors? And the very famous or repeated questions that I receive is, 2024 is so soon. What will be happening then? So I'll try to do my best to share with you and to try to answer these three questions. Yeah? So first slide, just to give you ideas where we are not moving, as Ambassador said, we are developing a new capital. And I think my colleague from Bappenas will tell you more. This is part of the grand design of Indonesia's transformations in 2045. So it's not a standalone project that only developing a capital there, no. But this meant to be a super hub of the Indonesian economy in 2045 when we celebrate our 100 years of independence. Yeah? So I think that's a very important statement from all of us that this is not a standalone program. And next slide, you can see this slide. Sorry, go back in. So you know that this is the East Kalimantan area, and perhaps this is the very unique situations that we have in Indonesia, because mostly if you move the capital or develop the capital, you are at the same land base. This one is different. We are going to another island. Yeah. So, you'll see later on my explanation why we are choosing to develop that one. But I think there are a lot of studies that we did. My two colleagues from Bappenas who are sitting here with me, they know exactly the studies prior to my my appointment as the chairman of the national capital. But there are solid reasons why we are moving to that new locations. Next slide. Just to give you ideas that we are developing 256,000 hectares of land, this one. The whole thing's this one. And of the 256, we have the 56,000, this one, the middle orange. And nowadays we are focusing more on the government core area, the 6,671 hectare. Yeah? But this is the whole area that is 4 times larger than Jakarta, or 2 times larger than London, I believe, right? Or 3.5 times larger than Singapore. But I will tell you more that we are not going to develop the whole things. We are going to preserve 65% of this whole land as a tropical forest. Yeah. So if somebody accusing us of, this will, threat the environment and others, I think the reality will be the opposite direction, because we are going to have the reforestations. Yeah. So I will tell you in the next slide. Okay. So in this area, we are going to have sort of like 9 economic generators, we call it. Yeah. Keep in mind that the brown one is this core area that we are focusing right now. But each of these, what we call the wilayah perencanaan or the sub-planning area, they have their own themes or characters. I hope everything's safe there. Okay, so for example, there's innovation and research. Here is the renewable area. There will be some tourism and also edu town, health town, and others. Here, agro-commodities and trade and logistics. There is some fisheries and agricultural industry. So we are going to develop all of them as the economic generators for the 2045. But I would like to emphasize again that right now we are trying to have a showcase in this area, in the government core area. Okay. Next slide. So zoom in, you can see on the far right, on my right there. So we are zooming in. This is the government core area, about 6,671 hectare. And of that, we are also focusing in this area. Yeah. If you are zooming in here, you'll see in the next slide that we are developing, for example, the palace for the president. And then there are a couple of ministries' offices. Also, all the necessity for a good livable cities like health, education, entertainment centers, market, you name it. So we try to have what we call the ecosystem approach. This is new, and this is something that we are changing the course when I take the job, because initially we just want to have facilities and also infrastructure. But we changed the approach to have a complete ecosystem, meaning that this will be not only livable city, but we would like to have a lovable city. Yeah. Those who are moving there as a pioneer, we would like them to say that, yes, moving is good here. Life is good. Yeah? As opposed to, for example, oh, this is really awful, or there's nothing here. So we don't want to hear that one. That's why we changed the approach to a livable and lovable city. Yeah? Just want to emphasize that when we develop a city, we are not talking about 5 to 10 years. You go around, for example, Canberra, Washington, D.C., or perhaps Nur Sultan in Kazakhstan, yeah? Brasilia city, it takes about 50 or 60 years until maturity. Yeah? And for me, developing a cities like this is not only building the facilities, not only building the infrastructure. The most important thing is to have a soul of the city. The city has to be vibrant. That is why our approach is a livable and a lovable city. Yeah? So, but of course, there are a lot of potential investors asking me, Bambang, 2024, we will have a new president. What will be happening? Yeah? So we do our best in 2024 to have some ecosystem that we build that can be a showcase for everybody to see that this is an unstoppable city, that this is a self-propelling city. Yeah? And as you know, we have a law and regulations that guarantee the sustainability of the city. If you want to change the course, or if you want to try to have a different policy, you have to change the law. And changing the law is not easy. Yeah? Next slide. Just the artist impressions of the government core area. We have 5 tagline of the cities, characters. Number 1, this will be the green cities, including how we will mitigate and have some mitigation and adaptation for climate change. Second one, this will be a smart city. Everything will be digitalized. Right? And also that means that also the latest technology will be there. We do our best to implement those then. And also inclusive. This is a cities for all. Yeah? It's not for those who are a middle income and up, but also those who, on the low income and others that has a right to live there, because the city, we call it the Indonesian centrist as opposed to Jawa centrist or Kalimantan centrist. This is Indonesian centrist. It's a city for all that being owned by all Indonesian. Has to be resilience. This is very important. The COVID-19 gave us lessons that not only resilience of the financial and economic shocks, not only resilience about the climate change with all the mitigation, adaptation measures, but also resilience for health and pandemic situations. That is also very important. So we have some roadmap for the resiliency of the city, and we do hope that it's going to be a very resilient city in the future. And of course, the last one is the sustainable city. Yeah? Next one. This is very important. Again, we are being accused, in the past, having a lot of deforestation. This is different. We are going to reforestation. Yeah. 65% of the whole 256,000 will be, convert from the production forest right now. Most of them production forest, meaning that if you see on the ground, somebody wondering, Bambang, why is it they are still cutting the trees? Because this is production forest. But we are going to have measures to reforestate that kind of situation. Yeah? And for that, we have one persemaian, the nursery area, that capable delivering 15 million trees every year. 15 million, 15 million trees every year to convert from the production forest to tropical forest. So 65% forest, 10% green, and 25% urban built area. And we are going to implement all the latest concept of nature-based solutions, for example. We are combining the green and the gray infrastructure, using the landscape, for example, using the vegetations to make all the balance between people, nature, and culture. Yeah? And also trying to do our best to have the sponge city concept. It's like sponge. There is many of the area, we call it the riparian. It's like a small lake that able to conserve the water. And then when we need the water, we can release that water. Yeah. So only 25% will be developed. And we try to control this one, the 25% as a green area. There is no vehicles other than green vehicles that allowed in this area. Yeah. So our goal is going to be the carbon neutral city by 2045, ahead of Indonesia. Indonesia 2060. But we in Nusantara would like to have this one. And next slide, and I'm glad to share with you that we launched in the last COP of the Climate Change Conference of Party 27 in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, a study, hopefully will be delivered this year in COP28, that has the roadmap for this Nusantara to be carbon neutral by 2045. The study is now going on, and again, we do hope, finger crossed, this COP28 in Abu Dhabi, we are going to announce that yes, Nusantara will be the first capital city in the world that has the LDC. Anybody who are not familiar with LDC, locally determined contributions. At national level, we have NDC, National Determined Contributions. Usually the country, reported to the world that they are going to have some measures to achieve some targets on the climate change. But for Nusantara, we are going to have the LDC at the city level, locally determined contribution. Okay? Next. Just want to update you what is happening right now on the ground. Yeah? Access road is being almost finished, but now it's being also, maintained so that we can have a good logistics system for those especially in 2023, because we are going to have a massive constructions. Yeah? Here, this is the dormitory housing compound for the workers. Yeah, we hope that about 20,000 workers will be, at least 20,000 workers will be working on that area. And one of the floor here is my base camp actually. So I have 2 offices right now, one in Jakarta, Balikpapan, and the third one will be on the ground. Yeah, I will be there, and my 2 deputies actually already, have the day-to-day office there because they have to control all the development. So access road there, and then the ring road there for the logistic and supply chains. Next one. This is very important because there are so many questions about the availability of water. Our dam has a capacity to supply until 2030. Yeah? Until 2030, we are safe because of this dam. And this dam is now almost finished. We are going to see next month what we call the inundations. The water is coming in until several months, so that the dam will be functioning at least at the end of this year. Yeah? There's also water intake there. Just to remind you that the water system in Nusantara will be a potable water. Bisa diminum, you can drink directly. Perhaps this is the first city in Indonesia that able to supply that water. This is the nurseries that I'm talking about that has a capacity of 15 million trees every year. Almost completed right now. And then there are a lot of water reservoir like this because we are implementing the concept of sponge city. Yeah? That's only on the hard side, but we know exactly that we would like to have a good ESG reputation. Yeah? Nusantara must have an ESG world-class standard: environment, social, and governance. So for the social thing, we are working with so many elements of the society. There's NGOs, CSOs, and others, as well as companies, to have a reskilling and upskilling of the local communities. Yeah? There are 2 tracks right now. One track is that for those who would like to be involved in the construction industry. So they get some certification, they get some training from many of the universities, also the labor training center, so that they can get certificate and they can be part of the construction process. But for those who would like to have another roles in the future, for example, we call it the emak-emak program, the ibu-ibu, the housewife. They are being training of having, for example, as a barista, coffee, making some bakery, or perhaps tailoring or others, so that they can also part of the development process. Yeah? We don't want them just watching what is happening on the ground. We want them part of the development process. We have one actually digital village. If you Google in YouTube, there is a Bukit Raya podcast. Even they have a podcast. This is small village, yeah. But we try to do our best to have some sort of like model for others, yeah, so that they will be also have a good transformation, because this is going to be a smart cities. Smart city means that you have to be able to have a smart, digital kind of capacities for ordinary people, and we start to do some training and also some empowerment of like the early kids like this, so that they will be part also of this transformation. Yeah? Now, where are the investors? Yeah, we receive a lot of, to my surprise. This is to my surprise, because I was told by so many people that 2023 will be a very difficult years and stuff like that. But we received more than 100 plus right now. But we only take into account those who are giving us a good letter of interest, and then from the letter of interest, we are again screening them, the one that really has something to do in 2023 and 2024 as a priority. And as of last week or 2 weeks ago, there are about this many that giving us the letter of interest, and 25 of them now is on the active sort of like discussion with us to have some real investment on the ground. This is from private sector. Some of the hospital industries, some of the schools industry, some of the mall, for example, or department store. You know the brand of IKEA, for example? Yeah, they are going to invest there. There will be also a good school, like a Jakarta International School. Those of you who are familiar with that, they will be also part of that. Big properties company, like Pakuwon, you name it. They also express some interest. Even there's some football club that would love to be there at the first place. There's also some of them who would like to have a F1E circuit, E, because we don't allow those who are using not green vehicles to be there. So it's very exciting time. For us, it's a high time right now. Yeah. Oh, and I put this 44 times because initially we only want to develop only part of this as a showcase in 2024. And for that, it's only about 1,000 hectares or 921 hectares. And of 921 hectares, there's parcels of land that available. Yeah? And when we opened that one to the investor, we got by surprise that we are oversubscribed by 44 times. Meaning that the request, the demand for parcel of land way exceeding our capacity at this moment. At this moment, I have to underline that one, because those areas that we offer is the one that ready, quote unquote, because there will be infrastructure, there will be multi-utility tunnels that available on that one. Yeah? Next one. So because of that, initially, we only thinking that we are going to have a showcase on 1A here, but now we open to 1B and 1C, as well as the other surrounding area. Some of them are asking for 300 hectares, some of them are asking for 200 hectares. Right? Somebody would like to have some golf course, for example, including all the townhouse and the housing complex. They're asking more. Yeah? So we are now in the middle of that with them, and hopefully some of them will be, you can see that by 2024. Yeah? Next one. This is on the housing tower. We are now very active on the middle of negotiation with 3 properties company that will develop 184 towers. Yeah. 2024, we are going to witness Some of the civil servant, military, and also police personnel will move there. Yeah, the number is about 17,000. Yeah, ramping up to 60,000. We are still opening some area for the private sector who would like also to participate in this public-private partnership. This is a PPP scheme. Yeah. And hopefully, again, hopefully we can see on the Q2, the quarter two, that some of them will start the construction. Keep in mind that nowadays, building like this with a new technology of knockdown and modular, it will be a very quick one. Yeah? Next. If any of you would like to invest on the large scale one, this is something that you may think of. Yeah? But perhaps it will not finish by 2024. This will go beyond that one. There will be some financial center. There will be some toll road between Balikpapan, the nearby cities that now is the gateway for Nusantara. There will be some immersible tunnels that we have to develop on the tunnel, some part of the tunnel. Why? Because we have to protect the conservation area. That's why rather than we have the road coming to that area, the road has to go down and under the sea to protect that area. Yeah, it's going to be a bit expensive, but there's ecotourism, wellness, and others that we open for investment in the future. Next. One more thing that usually being asked by colleagues from investors, what will be the incentive for that? And I'm glad to share with you that I think this week there will be new government regulations specifically mention about the incentive of investor who will invest in Nusantara. There's a specific tax holiday, for example, with a number of years that is very attractive. There will be super tax deductions for selected activities and some others. So I'll share in our website when the time it comes, but I heard that it's already being signed with the president right now. Yeah? One more thing, the authority like us, we are not going to deal directly with the private sectors. We already have this, if you call it state-owned enterprise, but in this case, authority-owned enterprise. Yeah, we have PT Binakarya. This is now is a state-owned enterprise, but we are now, taking over this as a 100% authority-owned enterprise, and they are the one that will deal with all the investors. We hear the suggestions from the investor that they are more comfortable doing P2P, doing B2B, rather than doing with a government-like, institution like us. So hopefully by having this one, you're going to have a more smoother, same language, when you have a deal or transactions. Yeah. Next one. Okay, just to show you that we try to do our best to have an international standard. Yeah. For the climate change, I already told you that we have assisted by the Asian Development Bank. We have another MOU with the Islamic Development Bank on the Sustainable Development Goal principle. We are going to have also with Tony Blair on the education town, yeah, especially on the world-class educations. We have a pilot projects for the advanced autonomous vehicles. I have a MOU to have a sky taxi in 2045. Hopefully I can still see that one, 2045. And also a smart city master plan with the USAID. So just to give you that there is also some aligning of international organizations that work with us. So one or two more slides, Mr. Moderator. So I go back to my 3 questions. The first one, when will be the construction start? I posed the wrong questions. It's already started, right? As you see from the slides, you can see that this is project on the go. Yeah? So if you want to participate, please do so. Otherwise, you are going to be the follower. Yeah? And we are oversubscribed. That's the second one. Where are the investors? There are investors. If you are skeptical about that one, it's fine. Somebody saying that, oh, don't go there because, it's a situation is not good. Yeah? But maybe they say that because they don't want any competition with you, right? The reality is that there are aligning of, there are coming investor on this project. And what will happen in 2024? Remember, don't see this as a really, how you call it, a short-term thing, because we are developing this one until 2045. So what will happen in 2024? This one. This is what we call the Plaza Kebangsaan. We are going to see the palace there. The president will have the ceremony in 2024 in the Bukit Bendera. There will be a complex here, department store on the right, and state-owned enterprise offices on the left. This is the titik nol, we call it, the 0 point that will be having a new monument. There will be some, jam session of musical things here. There will be a lot of cafe here, yeah, you name it. So that hopefully this is going to be there in 2024. Not there, but here on the main avenue of Nusantara. So with that, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end my presentation by offering you that there's some people that only watching at IKN Nusantara. Some people are wondering, what is happening there? But I would like many of you to be part of the one that make things happen in Nusantara. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Pak Bambang. A very impressive presentation indeed. Now I would like to invite Ibu Amalia to give her speech, maybe 10 minutes, Ibu, and followed by Pak Yuki for the later discussion. Monggo silakan, Ibu.
Excellency Pak Hafaz Ugroseno, the Ambassador of Indonesia to Germany, and also Pak Bambang Susantono, the Chairman of the Indonesian New Capital Authority. For this one, at this important opportunity, I would like to focus on that the new capital city explained by Pak Bambang is actually not a short-term goal, but it is actually as an integral part of the long-term vision of our country, because Indonesia is now, next slide, Indonesia is now transforming our economy because we would like to escape from the middle income trap by 2045. So by 2045, Indonesia really would like to be the high income economy. And for that objective, in slide number 4, Indonesia has the 6 strategies of economic transformation. And if you look at among these 6 strategies, then new capital city development is actually as a part of Indonesian economic transformation strategy. So this is what we would like to say, that by having the new capital city of Indonesia, that it will be a new prime mover for the Indonesian economic development now and in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, next slide. Indonesia is actually the biggest archipelagic country in the Southeast Asia. And Indonesia is one of the 5 members of archipelagic South Asia. And Indonesia is actually the country with the biggest number of islands in Southeast Asia, with the number of islands, 17,500 islands. So with this geographical condition, then we also doing the economic transformation, which is designed according to the characteristic of our region. Next slide. So what I would like to say to you at this important opportunity, that when Indonesia would like to have the Indonesian economic transformation strategy, then we have to design a bottom-up approach, that we come up from the economic transformation from the region with their own characteristics. Then, for example, East Kalimantan, we're designing the East Kalimantan economic transformation as the new capital city economic super hub with 6 economic corridors. We also now having the Bali Kerti economic transformation that would like to design a new Bali era. I'll be explaining to you in another 2 days, in 19, about the transformation of Bali to become a new Bali era. But today, we'll be focusing on how East Kalimantan will be the driver of Indonesian economic transformation by creating a new economic super hub. The 6 clusters that we will be having in East Kalimantan and driven by our new capital city will be one of the important agenda of Indonesia's economic transformation. And now, next one, before that, after East Kalimantan, Bali, in the next future, we will be having the Capri Island economic transformation with the tagline, the blue jewels of northern economy of Indonesia. Why is that? Because Capri Island consisted only one province, consisted more than 2,000 islands only in one province. So that will be a different type of economic transformation. But for this East Kalimantan, it also will be a specific design for the economic transformation by having the 6 economic clusters that I will be explaining later on. Next one. This slide showing you that the new capital city as a part of the economic transformation strategy is also supporting another strategy of Indonesia's economic transformation. By having the new capital city, that we will support the creation of digital transformation in Indonesia, because, as Pak Bambang explained, that there will be like a digitalized city in our new capital city. And also, new capital city development and its surrounding of the economic activities, it will be a new paradigm as well for the green industry, next generation energy and circular economy implementation in that one. And also it will support the goals to become the new engine of economic growth and to balance the economy between the region in Indonesia and become the Indonesia centrist. Not Java centrist, but Indonesia centrist, as Pak Bambang mentioned just now. Next slide. So, economic development strategy for our new capital city in East Kalimantan will be to diversify and create a new economic sectors, which is sustainable, green, and with an advanced technological approach. And it will be a prime mover not only for economic recovery, because the activity during the construction phase in East Kalimantan now is actually really help the recovery process of Indonesian economy after the COVID pandemic. But not only stop until the economic recovery, the activities and the building and also the establishment, the development of new capital city will be also supporting the economic transformation of Indonesia. Next slide. What is the 6 clusters that can be the prime mover of Indonesian economic transformation in East Kalimantan? This is actually the vision with a set of 6 strategies. And then we can mention clean technology industry, because we would like to really implement the green economy, integrated pharmaceutical industry, sustainable agriculture industry, inclusive ecotourism and health tourism, advanced chemicals, low carbon energy. But not only the 6 clusters of these economic activities, but it will be also supported by smart city and digital hub, and including the advanced education system in that city. If we can go to the slide number 13. Therefore, Nusantara economic super hub will act as a domestic value chains, not only a standalone economic activities, but it will be an integral part of the value chain across Indonesian region, and then it will be the new engine of future economic growth, meaning that the economic activities in East Kalimantan will be connected and integrated with the economic activities in the other part region of Indonesia. So with that, I would also like to, next slide. This is the details if you would like to see the details of each economic cluster, you can refer to this slide. And next slide. This is the places where those economic clusters will be located, meaning there is like 7 places, not only in the central part of the capital city that Pak Bambang mentioned, that there will be like R&D and ecotourism, but there is surrounding the capital city, there will be like places for creating new economic activities. What I would like to underline here is that we will not move the economic activities from Jakarta to East Kalimantan. The economic activities in Jakarta will be still there, but we will be creating the new activities of economy in these areas. So meaning that this is the new prime mover, new engine of economic growth, and then it will not moving the activities from the other part of the region, but it will be a complementary of the economic activities that have been created in other parts of Indonesia. Last slide. Next. So the next government support will be always there, especially that the new capital city development will be an integral part of our long-term and medium-term national planning. And then also, as Pak Bambang mentioned, that the government will not work alone. The government have to be able to collaborate with all stakeholders, not only from the domestic sides, but also from other countries to really welcome to Indonesia, to really together to build our new capital city as a new engine of economic growth in the future. Thank you very much, and I'll stop there.
Thank you, Ibu Malia. So I would like now to give the floor to Pak Yuki, the Vice Chair of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce. 10 minutes, Pak. So then after that, I invite all the speakers to sit in front and have a discussion with colleagues. Thank you. Thank you. Monggo, Pak, silakan.
Thank you, Excellency. Pak Bambang, as a chairman of the IKN, and Bu. Actually, I just want to tell you a story. Last year's Indonesia Chamber of Commerce changing the constitution, right? Because we have to adapt the situation now, technology, online, everything. And then one of the writing in our constitution is regarding where's our office. It's right in the capital city. Wow! So everybody is agreeing about that. Right, so because I'm in charging as the 5 chairman coordinator, especially for the organization, legal and information. So I said that we have to still put in our constitution in capital city. So it's a confirm because our constitution is legally is endorsed by also the president as a Kepres. So Kadin Indonesia will be moved also to new capital city. So just give applause. It's hard, especially it's hard for the next chairman. Have to be office in Kalimantan, but I believe for the future it's good. That's one of, if not because if the private sector not move there, so I don't believe that Pak Bambang will make the city, not the capital, right, Pak? It's a city. So that is very important to convince and everything. So Pak Bambang, ladies and gentlemen, so the concept of smart and green city open up a huge opportunity, Pak, for technology company, electric vehicle, renewable energy developer via capital investment and technology sharing. So Pak Bambang is already mentioned, also Ibu, is the project to generate total potential and annual economic value, of at least 250 billion, right, Pak Bambang, by 2050. So you want to miss that? It's up to us, right? So therefore, investment is surely not opportunity to be missed. For potential investor in the country, we had held several information sessions and the market sounding. We work together with Pak Bambang. Indonesia Chamber of Commerce very close, have discussion, especially my chairman, Pak Arsyad, over the course of 2022, we promote investment in several priority sectors throughout the world on the B20 roadshow. So we travel a lot regarding the B20 roadshow, and also including we explaining about the IKN Nusantara. Last October, we held a market sounding session, like Pak Bambang also is mentioned already before, with our president, Bapak Joko Widodo, in the Jakarta Theater, which attractive hundreds of investors, like already mentioned, Pak. School, university, and also hospital, Pak, right? Hospital, apartment, many things. So it's already start. I mean, Kadin will be provide if you need some information and go there directly to IKN, of course with Pak Bambang and Ibu. Currently, we are approaching multiple investors in the World Economic Forum as well today. Throughout the year, we will also promote this project to investors, and we go on the ASEAN Business Advisory Council roadshow. So you know, because this year also Indonesia as the house of the ASEAN, all right? So ladies and gentlemen, attracting investment is one thing, also Pak Bambang mentioned, but realizing it is the whole different game. Through the extensive network of business, association, and regional arm, we have a regional arm in the 34 province. We have also another arm is 414 in the major area, yeah, Kadin Indonesia, and then we all support for this, can overseas investment in partnership with local enabler that are expert in the field. Kadin also help investors understand the local regulation and incentives that are available to them so they can maximize their investment in the project. I heard about the incentive because when Pak Bambang called Pak Balil, I was there. So I know exactly. So it's really interesting, but I believe Pak Bambang will announcement once after the president will sign the president decree. We also assume the role of an effective communicator and consultant with the government, voicing out how the best structure investment scheme in the city that will attract both domestic and international investors. Most important, investors need assurance, Pak Bambang, then their investment are in a good hand, protect from the both internal and external factor. Actually, I know Pak Bambang since 10 years ago, Pak, as the vice minister. Sometimes we ride the motorcycle during the Hari Raya, yeah, to check all the route is make it not traffic jam that time, Pak. So when I know that Pak Bambang become a chairman, I'm sure Pak Bambang also will check, but don't ask me to ride motorcycle again. The government has also ensured the project will process deposit the change in administration, Pak. This will surely give more assurance to the investor to put their money in that project. On top, regularly incentive related to taxation, financing scheme, lately constitutional right will also increase. Investment attractive and can be rapidly mobilized finance toward this project. Incentive and protection aside, is also important to keep country stable state, Pak, giving the investor sense of security toward investing in Indonesia. So Kadin stand ready to support this national project, just like last year's promoting Nusantara project, the international investor. Finally, we are ready for formal collaboration with the Chief of the National Capital Authority and the Minister of Investment, of course, for the incentive part, and the other minister to formulate more attractive investment scheme for this project to success. Thank you. I hope 8 minutes, Pak, is done. Please.
Thank you very much, Pak Yuki. 9.5 minutes, actually.
So I got coffee from you.
So I would like to invite Pak Babang, Ibu Amalia, and Pak Yuki to sit, and while you are taking the place, I would like to invite colleague to ask questions. Maybe we have 10 minutes exactly. So maybe we have 1, 2, 3 questions. One, I can combine them together. Any other? Okay, please.
John Cumbers, I'm the founder and the CEO of SynBio Beta. We are an innovation network for the synthetic biology industry and the bioeconomy, and we run a 3,000-person trade show in Silicon Valley every year. I was pleased to see mention to the bioeconomy on your slides and to some biofuels and protein production on your slides, and the areas of economic development that you're planning to support. McKinsey calls the biorevolution the next big thing, the century of biology for the next 100 years, and between $4 and $30 trillion economic opportunity in 2030 and beyond. So I'm curious, in terms of bioeconomy and biotechnology investment and strategy, what is the biostrategy for this new capital city?
Before you answer, Pa, the question to you is, are you coming or not?
So I have a hidden agenda, actually. So my wife is from Kuching in Malaysia, not too far away. So I'm already in Borneo once a year, and I would love to be involved and bring our conference to
there you go.
to the new capital.
So you're
city.
coming.
I'm there.
All right, excellent. Silakan, Pak.
Thank you. I think the short answer is we are open to any ideas and innovation for the future. And as you can see, speaking on the Malaysian side, about 2 weeks ago when the PM came, PM Anwar Ibrahim came to us, he brought 11 investors that gave us a letter of interest directly in front of the president at the time. This is just show you that the transformations of the regional development, as mentioned by my colleague, Dr. Winnie, goes beyond borders. Because it's not only for the capital city itself, not only for the Kalimantan on the Indonesian side, but also will affect and impact on the whole Kalimantan as well as the regional thing. So I think that we can discuss further on that. I love any innovations for the future. I told some of you last year that we are not thinking outside the box, but we are thinking without the box. So there is no box anymore. So there is endless opportunity and innovations if you want to try to do something. But of course, we have to do it right. Yeah?
Tak ada box.
Without the box.
Ibu Amalia, silakan.
If I can add a little bit more regarding to bioeconomy. Actually, bioeconomy is our future. So we have to really start to think about it. But we started to think in the 6 clusters of economy in East Kalimantan. If you look at the 6 clusters, and then we have a cluster of sustainable agri-industry, and then in it we have plant extract, plant-based protein, and also herbal products and nutritional. And if you look at the new energy development there, low carbon energy, we have biofuels in it. And then if you look at the cluster of integrated pharmaceuticals, we have biosimilars. So we don't want to stop until the production of active pharmaceutical ingredient from the petrochemicals, but we also would like to look beyond that, and we would like to go further on the biosimilars product. So I think bioeconomy is our future, and not only stop until there in East Kalimantan, we also now developing the blue economy. We have a lot of resources of our biodiversity from oceans that will be a new engine of our economic growth as well. So please come to Indonesia.
Excellent. Pak Yuki, you want to add?
Very short. Because you are in, I give my number to you. Thank you.
Okay, any other audience would like to? Please, silakan Bapak.
Your slides are fantastic, but they went very fast. Okay. So I have just 2 short questions. How far is the center from the sea? That's the first question. And the second one is, are you going to build a port, for seagoing vessels? Or is this not included in your program?
Including the Navy? Maybe some submarines.
The ambassador is the expert on the defense and strategy. That's why he always mentioned about that one. The short answer is yes. We are going to have right now on the very short term, we just use the existing port on Balikpapan and Samarinda. But in the medium term, we would like to have our own supply chains and logistic sort of like a network for that. Right? How far? Let me give you about 15 kilometers away, right?
Just in front.
But if you go to the Teluk Balikpapan, the Balikpapan Bay, it's much shorter. But this is protected areas because we have the protected area for the freshwater dolphin. So that is why some part of the toll road has to go immersed tunnel, go under the water, because we want to protect the environment there. So, yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes, my name is Thomas Demmel. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Very loud. So, real estate and infrastructure, infrastructure accounts for roughly 40% of the CO2 emissions worldwide. And so, if you start with a green forest city, do you have any plan to use, let's say, building materials, reduce CO2? Do you have a program? Do you have like legislation around it? You're thinking ahead because this is something that is now, influencing a lot of mega projects in the world, like Saudi Arabia is doing that. Like they have full teams and not doing anything else. Are you starting to think in this as well, or have you done anything in this regard to look at, let's say, net zero concrete or other solutions?
A short answer is yes. We want every building in that our capital city, the new capital, will green certificate, have a green building certificate from the beginning. So I think that right now, the one that is starting to develop things like that, they are shopping around because there are a couple of state-owned enterprises that are now is doing some construction. They're shopping around to have a new technology that has low emissions like yourself, very carbon friendly, for example. And this is also using a digital technology like the BIM, Building Information Management System. So all the good things, hopefully, inshallah, we'll be there.
So you will achieve net zero in 2030, not in 2045, to be honest.
For some part of that, yes. But we have to really, we call it, I want to make a glory for the Indonesian Borneo tropical forest.
Yes.
Because for sometimes we always being accused of having deforestation. Now it's time for us to show them that it's manageable. It will be monitored by the international organizations, certified, of course. We are not alone for this. And I'm very glad that I'm having a lot of international organizations aligning behind us.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 2 more minutes. Any other audience would like to have questions or not? So if not, let me just add a little bit, Pak Bambang, and also what your question about the oceans. Because just right in front of the new capital, there is the famous Makassar Strait. And that strait has one archipelagic sea lane passages. So all vessels coming from the Indian Oceans, going to Japan, if they don't want to go through South China Sea, which is very peaceful, of course, can go through this channel. All right? So that's number one. Number two, I think in the slides number 11 and 12, there were pictures of the production forest. I've looked at it, and I think the idea to change production forest into reforested proper tropical forest is something that is a great idea that I think it's something that's remarkable for this project. So once again, thank you very much for all the speakers, Pak Bambang. I would like to invite you, Pak Bambang, to come to Hanover next April. Indonesia will be the partner country of Hanover Messe. 2023 is the largest digital industrial exhibition in the world. Normally 200,000 people came. So when you're there, I'll try to get at least 50,000. Thank you very much.